Hi, good morning. It's Deborah from Embody Nature, and I am a trauma and emotional regulation coach. And what the heck does that mean anyway? I have a lot of people come to me because they're struggling with either managing their emotions or looking at their behaviors. So we do some work at that subconscious level, helping work through that. So if you're here for the first time, it's lovely to meet you and welcome to this space. And if you're back, so nice to have you. I love connecting with all of you in this space. I love your questions. I love our conversations, and this just makes me really happy to be able to, share this information. And I love it when you can share stuff back with me too, because we're all growing and learning all the time. So today I'm talking about feeling unsettled in relationships, and your nervous system already knows why. So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you're asking for too much in a relationship? Like you want connection, you want depth, you want consistency. And part of you wonders, is this unrealistic? I know in our parents' days, it was just like, there's a cute guy, we get on well, we had a nice dance, and now we're married. It was a different vibe these days, and we're all growing, and we're having this evolution, and particularly as we head towards midlife, things are changing for us. And so it's okay to want these things. And I guess on the surface, it could look like, we want everything. We want the best friend, the fun, the chemistry, the support. But today, what I'm going to gently offer you is a reframe. So we're not asking for too much. We're actually just trying to feel safe. And so I guess, there was a time in my own life that, and we learn and grow, that I really believe that I was the problem in the relationship. And on the surface, things were good. And I remember thinking, why can't I just commit to this? Why can't I just ask him to move in, to build a life together, like it should? And I guess I made it mean something about me. I told myself I'm overthinking, I'm too sensitive. I just need to relax and let things be good. But I just couldn't figure out what was going on in my head and what was blocking me. But there was this quiet feeling in my body that something wasn't quite right. And I just kept on overriding this. It was like having a security system that I'd deliberately gone in and unwired. So it wasn't working for me. So I started noticing things though. As time went on, I'd noticed the way that he would react to other people. I'd noticed the way he reacted to my kids, and then eventually to me. And I guess as a therapist and someone who is really good at holding space for others, I did what I know how to do. I tried to understand, I tried to support, and I tried to regulate the situation. And I guess, from my own childhood, I have learned to sort of overplease and really, overperform in a space. So I was the one that was doing all the work. And even when that was costing me my own sense of safety. And I guess I just told myself, the lies that we tell ourselves, just let it go. Things are good again. Because it was always a bit of a cycle. Don't make this into something bigger than it is. But while my brain could think it had it all in control, my nervous system and my body didn't forget. And my nervous system was holding on to all of it. That sort of the tension, the uncertainty, and moments when I didn't feel psychologically safe. And what I didn't realize at the time was this, that it wasn't that I couldn't commit, it was that my body didn't feel safe enough to do so. And I see this often now, women thinking they're the problem when actually their nervous system is picking up on something real. And I guess this is also for the men of you out there who are trying to understand what is happening to the women in your lives as well. And you might be experiencing this too. So this is why understanding emotional safety matters so much, because if we don't, we'll keep on trying to override what our body is trying to tell us. And this is why, I guess, because underneath everything we think we want in a relationship, our nervous system is asking one simple question: am I safe? Am I safe to be seen without judgment? Am I safe to express my feelings without being dismissed? Am I safe to have needs without feeling like a burden? Oh, hi Anna, hi Julia, welcome. I hope there's more of you there. Chuck a comment in if you want to say hi. Nice to see you. So also, are you safe to experience conflict without fear or disconnection? And this is where consistency and emotional regulation matter so much, because when someone responds in a grounded, predictable way, that helps us feel safe. And when someone can stay present instead of shutting down or escalating, that makes us feel safe. And when someone takes responsibilities for their own reactions and how they turn up into a space, that makes us feel safe as well. That builds our psychological safety in our relationship. And your body starts to feel something differently. It starts to feel that I don't have to brace here. I can actually relax and just know I'm okay and this person has me. So in the work that I do, hey Meredy, I can see you there as well. Welcome. In the work that I do in neurotransformation therapy, it's going back into that deep emotional subconscious space, because our emotions, 90% of our emotional responses that actually creates our behaviors happen underneath the surface in our subconscious space. So we might have the thinking part of our brain that consciously thinks, but when it comes to our emotional responses, most of that happens when our thinking part of our brain is offline, and a lot of it happens beneath the surface. And I guess a lot of it happens, the things that impact us can be from way back in our childhood, and we have these patterns that began really early for us, and we're just really reinforcing those same patterns as we grow. So this is the part I'm really passionate about in my work, because this isn't just about choosing better partners. It's about understanding the patterns that we carry in our nervous system. So in my work, we look at the early experiences of connections. Did you have unmet needs? What were the first times you experienced something like fear, and how is that affecting you today? Because the interesting work I've done, I've found, I was working with someone recently, and we were working on the emotion of anger. And when we went back to the core moment of anger for her, it was a long time ago, not even in her lifetime. It was a previous generation thing. But what we actually found is when we could let go and work out that anger at the source, current day anger just seemed to dissipate for her. She was able to actually go, oh, I was really pissed off with my sister, but now I can't actually even feel that anger anymore. I don't have it with me. So there's some really beautiful ways that the work that we do can show up and really support you in your current day. So if you didn't experience consistent emotional safety growing up, your nervous system might have learnt that love can feel unpredictable. You have to work for connection, and this is something I have had to unlearn, that I'm actually innately okay to be connected just because of who I am. I don't have to work on it. You need to manage other people's emotions. That's a big one. Or your needs are too much and you feel really, and this can show up in lots of ways. This can show up in not feeling like, you can ask for help. Maybe you just want a hug one day and you feel really weird reaching out to a friend and saying, hey, I think I just need a hug today. And those kind of needs we just override and think, oh no, we should be okay. So what happens when we have these things in childhood? So later in life, we find that we're actually drawn to relationships that feel familiar, even if they don't feel safe. So we might be drawn to those relationships that can feel unpredictable, that we have to work for that connection, and that we have to manage other people's emotions. Because when it's almost like we're just calibrating that emotion and our nervous system and our energy, it's like we're plugging in to the right source. It's like, sometimes when you plug in, you go to a different country and you've got a different wiring circuit. You have to have an adapter for your power to work. And I think that's the same kind of thing that can happen here, is we actually have to adapt and make some changes so that when we actually run into a healthy relationship, it actually lands and feels safe for us, because to start with it might not even feel safe because it feels so different. So we have to work on that adapter and growing that and building that in us and rewiring our nervous system. So I guess that's the hopeful part. These patterns aren't permanent, even if they feel that way. Oh, hi, Flea. How you going, love? Nice to see you as well. And so the patterns are not permanent. When we begin to do this deeper work, and when we start regulating our nervous system and when we start reconnecting with ourselves, something really powerful shifts in this place. You start to hear your inner voice sooner. Because I know in my relationship, my inner voice is beautifully loud, and every time I hear it, I just go, yeah, that's nice, but... And I just, so sometimes we hear our inner voice really loudly, but sometimes we negate it, and sometimes we just can't hear it at all. So when things start to work better and we recalibrate, we can hear our inner voice. We don't override our body as much. And our body is the best thermometer. It is like the early warning system that just goes, something's not quite right here. You trust what you feel, and you stop abandoning yourself to keep the connection. And instead of asking, is this too much? You start to know, I am allowed to feel safe in love. So, and when safety is there, you soften, you open, and you stop overthinking. You don't feel like you have to manage everything. And when it's not, you feel it and you're able to listen sooner, not from fear, but from that self-trust. So I want you to leave with a simple takeaway today. So instead of asking, do they tick all the boxes? Try asking, how do I feel in my body when I'm around them? Do I feel calm or activated? Do I feel like I can be myself? And do I feel steady or unsure? And I find for myself, I journal. So when I have connected with people and I have a really, I just ask myself a few simple questions like, how did I feel in my body when I was around that person? Did it bring out the best in me, or did it bring out a side of me that didn't feel comfortable? And that helps me just work through, who are the people I want in my world and not? Who are the people that resonate with me? Who are the people that make me feel safe? And can I trust what I feel without needing to talk myself out of it? So this is a learning I am taking away myself. So no, you're not asking too much. You're asking for something deeply human, and that is safety. And when you begin to heal these patterns at the core, you don't just find safer relationships. You become someone who recognizes, chooses, and allows safe love. So if this resonated, I'd love to hear, chuck something in the comments or send me a message, send me a voicemail. I don't mind. Get in touch. I'd love to hear what landed for you, and if there's things that you would like me to explore more. But yeah, send your love, send your likes, and I hope you have a great week and enjoy this Saturday. All right. Take care. See ya. Bye.